in.
And we're live.
And we're live.
Jazz
Hi, everyone.
hands.
Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And I'd like you to welcome Heather
Hi,
from
everybody.
Indigo Jaguar Intuitive Arts. And tonight we are going to do things a little different. Rather than just do the typical, political readings and so on, we're going to concentrate on some women of substance, women that are really
Mm,
making a difference in their communities, in the
yeah.
country, women who deserve to kind of be highlighted for what they're doing rather than for just, you know, the ones that are screaming and making the most noise,
Yeah.
right? So, but before we get into that, I just want to very quickly remind you guys that this on Wednesday. Oh, no, sorry. Let me backtrack. Tentatively, this coming Monday on, I think, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, I will be having John from MASSALIA Tarot on, and we are
Mm,
going to have um, a guest that is going to come on with us. And because we're having this contest, a lot of people don't realize what is involved in having a personal astrological reading. It
oh,
sounds
yeah.
really good, but you know, what do you really get? So we thought rather than try to explain what you really get, we're actually going to do one live.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, that way you get a
Very.
sense of what's involved and whatnot. So, um, just waiting to confirm, but tentatively we are scheduled for this coming Monday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Wednesday we'll be doing the Let's Talk Astrology, and join us. We're going to be doing Cancer this time around, and that's at 7 p.m. November 5th at 2 p.m., I will be on Sherry H, Voices from the
Yeah, my
Swamp.
girl. Yes.
Yeah, I will be on her channel. And then November 12th, Sherry is going to be on my channel. And I do have some other upcoming things just waiting to finalize. So I will let you all know when that happens. So,
And
having said
so
that,
Mozzie likes to get on my lives and say hi to people. So there he is saying
I
hi.
know.
I have two black
Oh,
kitties, and this is one of them. Everybody pretty
oh,
much knows who he is. So
well,
it's a good boy. And thank
you
you
know
for
what?
having me on as a guest. I appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. Yeah, I was been kind of looking forward to this. And hi, everyone that's come
Ooh.
in. Hi, Teresa. We've got Flowing. Sherry
And there's
H is here.
Sherry. Yep.
Angela. Um, did I
All those
say
wonderful
Teresa?
familiar faces.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So um, I don't know about you, Heather, but usually I like to do a very short kind of little prayer that
Okay.
before I do the readings. It just helps me to center and put the intention
Yep.
out.
Get grounded and everything. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, it takes about 10 seconds, if that. And for those of you that want to join in, feel free. If it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. Think about something wonderful and something that makes you feel great. So,
Mhm.
and here we go. Deep breath in. I call on my guides, ancestors, angels, and ascendant masters to protect me as I receive and deliver these messages from Universal Spirit. May this reading and the messages provided be guided by and delivered with love, clarity, and truth. Reveal to me what should be known now, and keep from me what should remain secret. Guide me to always manifest the highest possible good for myself, my spiritual family, and humanity at large. Okay.
That
Amen.
would be awesome. I should I do that behind the scenes, but I've never done it on a live. That might be something I might want to start including. So
You know what? Yeah, I think it helps to set the intention with everyone that's there that this is yeah, this is what we're going to look at. This is what we want to see, and so on. So
Gotcha.
there, excellent. Thank you, thank you.
Good vibes
So,
already.
uh-huh. You know what? About 5-10 minutes before I came on, I was, getting the cards out and whatnot, and all of a sudden my throat felt like it was closing up. And usually that's my sign for okay, um, things need to be said. So get yourself ready. It could
Mm-hmm.
be, you may be uncomfortable, but
Mm-hmm.
get yourself ready. So um, yeah, I kind of thought, okay, all right, I'm not in control. I know I'm not, so it's okay. It's
And what you
okay.
call spirit, and it's there to buffer and to guide and protect. So whatever
And
is said or comes out is, to me, I feel like it's going to be divinely guided.
absolutely, absolutely. So for those people who don't know you, Heather, say a little bit about Indigo Jaguar Intuitive Arts. That is a fantastic name, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Recently someone said, "Boy, that's a mouthful," and I said, "Well, there's a lot of channels that are a mouthful." So, I know it's a little trippy at sometimes, Indigo Jaguar kind of, but it's for a while I was going by Indigo Chrysalis Tarot when I started my channel,
Mhm.
which I officially did my first live in January of this year.
Oh, nice.
And as the months progressed, when you develop and you grow and you get more experience, you know that there's going to be inevitable changes coming, especially with, I could feel the name automatically needing to shift,
Yeah.
especially around June, the beginning of summer. So I said, I'm not going to rush. I'm going to keep it as it is. And I want to take my time and just meditate and know when it's right, when the right words come to mind. And
Yeah.
so last month, August, September, boy, the year just flew right by, especially the summer.
Oh,
Um,
tell me. Yeah.
Jaguar has always actually first came to me when I was living in Arizona. I lived in Arizona for about 8 years, and I had done over those years I had learned about Reiki crystals. Um, I was part of a group that did shamanic drumming, and at one point back then, a black jaguar panther, they're within the same family like a leopard,
Yeah.
um, had appeared in one of my drumming journeys.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is, and then life happened. And so for a while I drifted away from the spirituality, bit of a crisis, with the health and everything.
Yeah.
And just within the past 2 years, thanks to really COVID, being forced to, having to stay in and start looking on YouTube for things to watch. I started coming across, the first channel was Marie's Table, and then
Yes.
she introduced us to Linda G, um,
Yes.
who's going to be. Sorry if you heard. So that's my cat. He's deciding to play right now of all times,
Of course.
and
That's time.
uh, the way I started seeing people reading was not the way that, when I was younger, it was told. It was strict. You have to read cards upright. You got to read them reversed. You have to do them, da 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 da. And so for a while, I would just pull out a few cards I had to read for myself, maybe, or some friends. But watching the political readings and whatnot, and learning about Lenormand, all that just kind of got it all going
Yeah.
again. And pulled out the
Yeah.
cards, started reading along with some of the political ones, and it just blossomed.
Yeah.
And I started getting more confident. I would put some cards into certain chats where people were okay with, putting cards in. Scott Allen was really good with that, with his,
I know.
morning coffee.
Yeah.
And so I
He's
would put,
really good.
and he would just say, "Oh, let's see, Heather, Indigo, you got this and that. Yeah, I can see. Yep, same. So very encouraging, and
Yeah.
um, just and with every my subscribers slowly building up and more people coming to my lives, it just really, I just
Yeah.
started coming into my own. And I also
Absolutely.
have a degree. Actually, I went to school for. I'm an artist. I've been an artist pretty much my whole life, And one of the reasons why too I wanted to change my name was my art is also very intuitive, like my reading.
Yeah.
And so I love to write. I love to, do my art. Reading, everything comes from a very personal, intuitive um,
Mm-hmm.
nature of myself, the part of myself. And I wanted to bring that all in together. And with the Jaguar representing working with shadow and stepping into your own power, that's exactly what I felt like I was doing.
Yes.
And it just all came together. And I typically don't do political. Once, especially after things got so out of control, it was with everything happening after January 6th and this coming out and that coming out. And it was too much for me to take in. And I had to, separate and back away. And I said, well, how do I still find my niche, create my own little niche for myself?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm very passionate about helping people find missing loved ones. I was a guest for a while on Maya's channel,
Mm-hmm.
doing true crime, and we no longer do that together. But she taught me that you could use your cards, you can use your intuition, and you can actually help make a difference for the family if they come across your video or if a family
Yeah.
reaches out to you. And even just giving that person who needs their story to be told, the victim, trying to
Yeah.
find out what's going on, for me that really became my passion. And I love to focus on missing women, children,
Mm-hmm.
especially missing murdered indigenous women, because it's such a
Yes.
pandemic of these poor women being murdered and being disappearing. So I just started getting into that and wanting to just put my energy, but to also have the balance, doing the lighthearted, bringing my art into my channel and doing the spiritual messages and the fun readings and the mysteries and the paranormal with like Sherry and with Scott, learning more about ET races and star seeds. And so there's a whole other world, out there that, I'm finally finding my little place in the
Yep.
world. So didn't
Yep.
mean to go
And
on
that,
too much of a tangent, but
no, no, no,
I'm
no.
just very involved. So but yes, that's so yep, new coming up to my 1 year anniversary. I think my first video was in the late last week of December. And so yeah, that 1 year
Nice.
anniversary is coming up. And next month
Nice.
I'm nervous, but Miss Linda G is coming to my channel. And
She's
I
lovely.
just she brought such laughter and joy, especially with everything going on with 45's administration. I don't even like use, I just refer to him as a number.
40. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how she would always start with hello, or he thinks he's all that in a cup of tea, all this
Yeah.
fun stuff that she
It's a
would be able to
nothing
give the
burger. It's a nothing
messages
burger.
and
Yes.
the humor with everything. So I'm going to focus more on like the humor part and what joy she brought, up to to that one certain point. So I'm really excited. So I got good stuff going on. Just got to get the
Good.
internet fixed, the new company next month, and I have a whole bunch of new ideas coming to my channel. So i'm
Perfect.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I've been very blessed to find this community.
You know what? Yes, I absolutely agree. I knew that. Yeah, I'm coming up on almost 2 years, a year and a half, really, that I've been on. Um, and yeah, started out very organically, where I was doing political readings because that's kind of where my interest is, and it
Mm-hmm.
also seemed that that's where a lot of people were interested in. Not only that, but there was so much panic, even before January 6th. There was just so
Yeah.
much panic and bad news, and oh, the world is falling apart. And I thought, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, just hold on, take a breath. It's not really that bad. And when you hear
Yes.
all this stuff, you ask yourself, why is this person presenting it to me that way?
Mm-hmm.
what is this something that is really true, or do they want to elicit something? What do they want from me?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you drill down into that, you realize that they want you to make decisions based out of fear.
Exactly. I
Not
was going to
fact.
say fear mongering. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, don't look at the facts. The facts don't mean anything. You can jiggle around with the
Mm-hmm.
facts. You just listen to me. I will tell you what to do. And
Yeah.
no, you know
Mm.
what? I think I was born a sentient being and I have a brain and I think I'm able to use it. So maybe I'll just decide for myself.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, when I started watching, yeah, Marie's Table was one of them. Um, Linda G, because you couldn't see any channel that didn't have something to do with Linda G. And
Yeah.
God bless her, because I think she has given this community voice.
Mm-hmm. She opened
And
it up to us. She blew it
yes,
wide open. Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
She's
And
a
yeah,
badass.
oh,
She
totally,
really.
totally. And yeah, I like her style of reading. I've learned a lot. Um, and I also, yeah, Lilac Lantern, Andrea,
Mm-hmm.
um, learned a lot from her. And Sheila from Celtic Tarot, Sheila.
Yes, you. Yep.
Yeah, she was one of the first ones that I sent an email to and kind of said, "Hey, do you think you might want to come on my channel?"
I'm just
Because
I'm just being girl, you know.
it's like, my 127 followers,
Yeah.
So, and she responded right away, and it was like,
That's
yeah,
wonderful. Yeah.
absolutely. And in fact, that very first one that we did, she said, "Why don't we do it on my channel?" Went, okay.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, it was really, really good. It was a lot of fun. And I learned I tend to read the cards intuitively more than anything else. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know a little bit about the meanings.
But
Um,
I mean here. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but no, it's, I could see one card today, right now, is going to mean one thing. Half an hour from now, if I pull it
Me
again,
totally
it could
something
mean
else.
something completely different.
I get you, girl. I get you.
Yeah. And then it was, yeah, about the same time that yeah, that I did up the channel, that um I kind of the voices started telling me that I had to put together my own deck. And I thought, yeah, no, because I'm not an artist. I don't know anything about this. And no, 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 no. And it just kept coming in stronger and stronger and
Yeah.
stronger. And it felt to me like it was more out of spite than anything else, that I finally said, fine, fine,
Fine.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll order the
Hands on the
PAMN blank deck, and
hmm
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but fine. And so I did. I got the blank deck, and I sat on it for a couple weeks, and
hmm
one morning it was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to see. I'm just going to play with this. Like I know it's going to be nothing. And before I knew it, I had
hmm
this story thing in front of me. So I got in touch with a friend of mine and I said, okay, I need you to send me 3 questions that we haven't discussed, because I don't want anything to influence
Mm.
this. I want 3 questions that you haven't brought up to me, and I'm going to see what these
All
things
the
are going to
cards.
say,
Yeah.
because it's just for shits and giggles, right? Well, it turned out to be fairly accurate. So then I had another one, and then another one, and then I started using them exclusively now in the tarot group that I belong to. Here we gather every Sunday, and
Yeah.
we.
Andrea Lilac Lantern inspired me. You know,
Mhm.
I've got several blank decks and I do some drawings and every now and then I'll pull them out. But I was like, oh, cool. I'm an artist. If she, If she's doing
Yeah,
it, why can't I do it? What's my excuse? But then for me, I get so many ideas. I'm looking at Canva and stuff and going, but I can do this, but and then I can do that. And then it's just like,
yeah,
oh, sometimes you got to get out of your brain. But exactly,
yeah.
once you start putting those images down, they start forming a story, the pattern that you
They
know
do. They
that's
do.
personally to you.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, absolutely. I call them my Toracle cards because they're kind of
Torah.
like a tarot and oracle card.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, in when I'm doing personal readings for people, yeah, it's a story and it just carries on.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
so
love
yeah,
about Lenormands. They tell I mean, you can put the
yes,
first card down. You can keep pulling one after the other. I mean, I can't really do a grand tableau because that overwhelms my mind. But if I just
yep,
start with a question, lay one card down, then I can. I mean, I can keep pulling, and it'll keep telling the
yeah,
story more and more. And I'm like, this is how I feel. I can read without having to do certain spreads and things. It's just like, okay, just give it to me straight in threes, maybe six, and maybe
yeah,
nine. um yeah, you just eventually you just fall into your
totally,
flow, and like you did with your
yeah,
cards, you were
totally.
able to
And I
pick the
know,
pictures
I mean, I admire people who will go, okay, well, so the center of the reading and it's crossed by this, and this is in the short term future and long term future. I admire people who can
hmm
do that, but I I don't do that. I
yeah,
Yeah,
it's enough for me
it's
just to remember the upright position. And a lot of people say
yeah,
it's important to have reversals, but for me and how I can process information, I can really only do upright. And
yeah,
so
me too.
I'll lay down extra cards to be able to clarify what might have been. But I do have a deck that's really cool. It's Rider Waite, and it has on the top, it'll tell you, it'll give you the keywords for
Yeah,
upright and then reversal. So if there are certain readings I'm doing where I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to need a little bit more
more,
than what I
yeah,
think my knowledge might be for this, I'll grab that deck and I'll
yeah,
use that, because then I'll have that, reverse to go with the. But you just go by feeling. I'll pick out maybe four decks
yeah,
before a live, and by the end of the night, I'll have another five pulled, because sometimes I
no,
never use a deck more than once because everybody's energy seems to resonate with different decks that I have. So
exactly.
it's just like you
Yeah,
said, one deck or one card might mean something totally during one live or one reading, and then the next minute,
yeah,
you know,
something else, something totally different.
exactly.
Yeah, and that's what makes this, um, I think, so inclusive, is that we all support each other in doing what we do,
Mm-hmm.
however we do it and where we do it.
Yep.
So, yeah, there is no right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It it all comes down, for me at least, it all comes down to the information.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you something and it resonates with you, it doesn't matter if it's right side, upside down,
Mm-hmm.
sideways, reverse, whatever.
Yeah. I love
It's
how you
the
call it Toracle, because I
or
tend
yeah,
to like more Oracle. I have tarot
mhm,
for certain structure. But for me, a lot of times, because of intuitive, for me, the oracles provide me more of it's like an open play for my
yeah.
intuition. I have the books, like I have like 9 or 10 decks by Colette Baron Reed. I absolutely love her.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of her books are like this thick, because you're going
I
to have
know.
this one, down one, and I'm just like, whoa, whoa. So I'll,
I'm not smart enough to remember 78 cards upright, let alone 78
yeah.
upright,
So
78
with her
reversed. Like,
cards, they're amazing because you
yeah,
can read, you'll, if there's something that's not coming through that I feel like needs to be said, I'll go, hold on a second, let me grab the book. I'll grab the book,
yeah,
I'll go to the page, and I ask Spirit, where's the line that I'm looking for? And then usually that line will catch my attention right there. And so
yeah,
that's how I like reading. I like looking at the images. Like, I don't know if you've seen Tangi came out with her Tangi cards, and they are just these
mm,
phenomenal surrealistic images, and for one person they'll totally interpret one image, and then I'll have a totally different one, and then later on that image is going to mean totally so. I mean, that's why I just absolutely love oracle cards,
Yeah.
because it's tapping into all the different, to me, like
Yeah.
areas of your brain. You know, it's
Totally.
pushing you outside of that structure. It's like, okay, you can step outside of the box now. You have your
Exactly.
footing, you have your basic. Now open up your intuition and your imagination, and that's where things start going, you know, like that. So I love
Totally.
cards that help you do that.
Totally. Totally.
Hi,
Okay.
Ellen. I just saw that she popped up a few minutes ago, so I just want to say hi, Ellen.
Hey, Ellen. Hey, Anita.
I say I don't think I know Anita, so hello, Anita.
Yes. Hello, everyone that's here. Thank you for being here. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know, it's
All right, yeah.
yeah, it's it's nice when you do that. When
Mm-hmm.
we know we're on the right track when when you give us
Yeah.
the thumbs up.
It'll
But
be nice at some point to get the community tab.
yeah,
I posted on one reader's channel that I was going to be doing a reading on a missing young woman from British Columbia, and within 48 hours, my subscription jumped up almost 100. And it just, it's
yeah,
word of mouth, just helping
absolutely.
support. Yeah.
Yeah. When is your collab with Linda G?
Linda G will be in November on, I believe, the 6th. It's like one day I'm on the Crone zone. Then one I have Linda G, and then I have another one with Tange. So it's like those 3 days right there. So she's right between that. Um, I just
Yeah,
need to make sure that I verify, before I put out that thumbnail, to make sure that the date and everything, is still, correct. But yes, it's going
yeah,
to be the first week of November. And I'm
yeah.
nervous, but at the same time, I just can't wait
I know. You
to
know
say,
what? I know
girl.
what you're talking about. I feel the same way. And be ready for a bump in your subscriber base
Yeah. And
after
I mean,
Linda
I'm
is on.
expecting that would be wonderful. But for the last couple of years, I just would love to have her on my channel just to say thank you for helping. She was that spoon of sugar that helped the
Yeah,
medicine go down. I
yes,
can't follow, I really don't follow
yeah,
anymore with the channels with the politics, because it became too much for my health, for my energy. But
yeah.
during that one period of time, though, you could ask my fellow Shan. Every time a thing would pop up and says Linda G, I'm like, hello. I
Yeah,
pick up and
gotta
I'm
go.
already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I get it. You know what? And I think it's absolutely fantastic to yeah, to be doing that kind of tapping into the missing uh, women, particularly the indigenous, because my
Yeah.
gosh, they really don't get a whole lot of attention.
Mm-mm.
And it's like sometimes I feel like when I'm listening to the news and if there's a story that comes up, it almost feels like, oh yeah, by the way, there was this girl that disappeared. Like she's a human being,
Being, exactly. Yeah.
right?
They
She
had a
deserves
name, they had a family, she had a story.
exactly, exactly. So so she comes from an indigenous family. She's native. So,
So
and you know,
yeah.
like I just
The
yeah,
the
and
new the news likes to do a lot of missing persons that come from more and I'm going to be very blunt and honest here, and it's not to offend
Mhm.
anybody, but affluent white
Yeah,
Americans. I mean, look
absolutely.
at all the attention Pepito got, and I'm
Yeah.
so sad for what happened to her. But if
Yes.
they had focused that much attention on, African American women that are going missing in the cities, the children
Exactly.
that are getting trafficked
Yes.
every year. It's like 800,000, I think, alone in the United States, not even including,
Yeah.
the missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada and in the United States. I mean,
Absolutely.
if any of these children or these women and men too in these
Yeah.
lower socioeconomic neighborhoods or environment, I mean, it's just unfair, and that's why I like doing cases where at least I can bring someone's story to light for a little bit, even if it's just for a few people. I mean, give them a voice. And I did have somebody come into my chat one night and say, "Well, you're glorifying or you're making all this, whatever off of these people's, And I'm like, "No,
No.
that's not what I'm doing. No, I'm not using I have to say entertainment for YouTube, but I'm not here to be entertaining, for these
Yeah.
people's,
Yeah.
desert.
Yeah.
It's for me to
Exactly.
shine a light on these individuals so that at least at some point someone has heard their name or may somewhere down the line say, you know what, we kind of watched the show, it's tarot, it's
Yeah.
oracle, but you never know, maybe might get some insight. You just never know. And that's why I love doing it, because for me, that's me putting something positive forward into the community, from my end,
Yeah.
to give these people voices that don't get it because they're not newsworthy.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I
Hmm.
totally get it. Um, it is only by accident of birth that I appear the way that I do.
Hmm.
Um, if I whatever I want for myself, I want for you too,
Hmm.
and I should want for you too. Um, yeah, it really bothers me when I hear people talking about whether it's different races or particularly the Native community in a very bad slanted light.
Just
It's
disregard, just like, you know,
exact like yeah, you don't matter, but
and
you
poor
know
neighborhoods too that a lot of people
yeah
don't. And that's why when these children and these women go missing and end up in, being in trafficking,
yeah
no one's going to notice, no one's going to really care, and that's why they focus on a lot of, and this has got to
mhm,
stop. And this is one of my that's my passion, to be able to, be able to do this, and at some point be able to reach a nonprofit or whatever that can maybe donate work to help raise money, to help start looking for, more of these children and these
exactly
women. I mean, when the news hit about Epstein and Maxwell, um, I just, things that I didn't think humans were really could do, and you get that glimpse in there, and it's like,
yeah
wow, there is truly, and for me, that's what I want to fight against and,
yeah
bring to. And my shows, I always let people know we do use terms when it comes to crime, whether murder, if it was like,
yeah
you know, SA for sexual, I put all the
yeah
disclaimers, and I'm always very respectful. Like Flo,
yeah
and I saw Flo saying we are very respectful. And I always make
yeah
sure that very much Maya taught me, how the do's and the don'ts, when approaching these. And I had learned so much from her, so that I had was moving
yeah
forward. I wanted to be able to continue to do that. And Sharon from Strawberry Rhubarb Tarot, she
hmm
joins me, and Sherry H has also been joining me. And
nice
I like having another reader to always bounce, you see if we're getting the same cards and the same information, because
yeah
it's good for us to have that validation, you know.
yeah
And when
totally
I read with Sharon and Sherry, we get very similar cards, so I always know that we're on the right track and that we're providing, you know, good
yeah
information.
yeah and I'm so glad you're doing that because honestly I don't think that is something that I could do only because um I I know that it would just be too emotional for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? That it's very, yeah, when it comes to children, when it comes to certain things,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't advanced to the point yet that I can take my ego out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I totally understand.
there's,
That's how, for me, the energy with politics, that's how it affects me. So
yes,
I
yeah,
actually, my family, I come from a background where I was almost one of those kids. I was almost abducted on the way home from school.
oh,
One day when I was walking, and they were women too. Of all, you would think women would be
yes,
the protectors, and I
yeah,
almost got pulled into a car by two women, and I could have been one of those kids on those milk cartons.
yeah,
And coming from a family that has a history of, domestic violence, abuse, sexual assault, and stuff, and things that have happened to me, also with sexual abuse, I feel like I have enough of a connection and an
yes,
understanding where I've been just so connected to it or so used to it where I know how to separate the two, and where I
yes,
can get out of that space and allow what happened to me, my family, to be a catalyst for me to move forward, to be able to do the readings and to put that information out there and to educate. Whereas it
yeah,
doesn't, drown me and,
yeah,
destroy me. I use it as like I use that as part of the passion, to
yeah.
be able to.
Per- oh, perfect. See, that's, yeah, yeah,
We all
that
have
I,
our different passions, and once we find those, once we tap into that, and we stand in our power and we, embrace that, we're all unstoppable. We can make so much
exactly.
change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for our different talents, because if we all had the one same talent,
Yeah.
no, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Teresa, I'm so sorry to hear that. She said I was one of those kids people knew and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Lots
unfortunate,
of light and love
but
to you, Teresa.
Teresa, you're a survivor. You're a
Yeah.
thriver, and any of those scars or wounds that you have, whether they're outside or inside or both, those are your badges of honor to show that you made it and you overcame and you're still here, and it just shows you how strong you are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's why I'm really, when it comes to politics, I have been so disgusted and disheartened to see how many women who should be wanting to protect and nurture and do the right thing that are
Yeah.
not doing it. But at the same time, like you and I were discussing behind backstage, we have these other amazing women that are coming forward and just hoping, like, like what Scott says, you try not to put that anger and that hatred and just take
Yeah.
that frustration, because I live in a very red area. I'm in Western New York. New York is
Mm.
blue, but we're very red right here. And so I'm seeing Brandon signs, F Biden signs, Trump 2024 signs, everything. And when I get that anger and that frustration,
Hmm.
I'm just like, okay, just try to send that and transmute it and just help that
Yeah.
it elevates them. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that as more of these women like Letitia James comes in, um, Nancy Pelosi, Katie Porter that you were mentioning, the women coming into the cabinet. I mean, the first Native American woman or individual
Yeah.
into the cabinet I mean, the government. It's just, the Muslim women. I'm sorry, I don't follow politics, so I don't have their names all memorized, but I see their faces and the
Yes. Yeah.
changes
Yeah.
that they are bringing forward.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that their energy somehow can help transform some of these other, you know.
Yeah. I do. I do. I get very tired of the what shall I call them? The Banshee Brigade. Where they're
Mhm. Mhm.
just
It,
because you scream the loudest and you stomp your feet the hardest doesn't make you right. Doesn't
mhm.
make you someone that has great ideas. You
Mhm.
know, Um, I tend to listen to the one that that speaks slowly and gently. That's the one that I want to hear, not the screaming and yelling. And Nancy Pelosi,
They
I
think
I said
before they
the other
speak.
day,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I said the other day that I got, got a bit of a girl crush on Nancy Pelosi, and yeah, I do. The most presidential person on January 6th was Nancy Pelosi.
Mm.
Very calm, very okay. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. You
Yeah.
get on the phone, you make a phone call. The answer is no. Great. Thank you for your time. I'm going to stay in touch. Next one. Hi. This is what I need. Can
Mm-hmm.
like there's, yeah, just watching her work, watching her go, it was like, that's who I want to lead. That's who I want to listen to. That's what um that's what democracy politicking should be about. It's not it should be based on fact and discussion.
Be
um
procreative instead of being proactive instead of reactive. That was
yeah,
the word I was looking at for. Yeah.
yes,
And when
yeah,
I heard AOC went live and she was telling her ordeal, because she's very open about her sexual assault
yeah,
and what happened to her during the riot and how she was hiding in her bathroom. And she went
yeah,
live. And, there were some people that were popping up and saying, oh, you're full of this. Those are all fake tears.
yeah,
I'm like, it was ridiculous. This woman was showing young woman was showing absolute strength
yes,
by showing her tears and being
yeah,
vulnerable and being open and saying, this is what I experienced. No
yeah,
woman or man should have gone through what I did. And she was reliving her trauma and she was sharing that with us.
absolutely,
Um, so yeah, I mean,
absolutely. And we need, yeah,
I have faith in some, not a lot, but the ones that I do have the faith in is Miss James. A lot of my viewers know that because I
yeah,
was actually in tears the day of the shooting, and after
thanks,
the march, and I did a live, I did a recording or a live or whatever, but for the women's march, she came. And, when people, I thought, oh, she's just there to show. But no, when she was done talking, the women that were around listening to her, we had tears in our eyes.
yeah,
She came up to us, didn't want to shake our hands. She put her arms around us and not just, oh, okay, like that fake little, when she came up to me, I was crying and she put her arms around me and she says, baby, it's going to be okay. It's
yeah,
going to be okay. And she held me for several moments.
yeah,
And then and then moved on to the next person. So
yeah,
if of all the politicians, if anyone asked me who do I have the most faith in, I believe who's the truest of their hearts in politics, it would be her
yeah,
above anybody else. If she said something to me and said, this is what I would take her word. I
yeah,
wouldn't second guess it.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I was telling you backstage. Yeah, it it makes sense. It makes
Mhm.
sense for her to be that way. Um, yeah, she's
And she's a beautiful role model for young women, especially
yes,
in politics and wanting to get into legals, saying you want someone in politics to look up to, to who you can really who you can try not to try, but the one that will try to do what
yes,
they can, because a lot of us don't realize, they people run, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, but once they get in, there's things behind closed
yeah,
doors and secrets and stuff that they aren't aware of that kind of forces their hand a lot. But
yeah,
with her, I feel like she's going to really try to push through as much of that as possible to get that
absolutely,
change and those things that need to be done taken care of. And
absolutely. And
I'm
that's
glad that
something that
there's young
we
women to look up to her for that.
totally. And that's something that we need to change in politics, whether it's US politics or I'm up here in Canada, Canadian politics, any politics, it's the same thing. It's, you know what, we need to shine a light on the back room and what happens in the back room.
And that's why people are like, dark money, really? I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
History of the United States. Hello. You mean to tell me, oh, you're shocked and dismayed and awed and, oh, you know, dark money. They're like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
No, it's
that's
got
been
time to
going
get the head
on
out of the ground or out of the backside and start, you know, yes. I mean,
exactly. From day one, when the first guy stood up and said, "I will lead you," there was someone behind him going, "Oh, hey, listen, can I be your next in charge?"
yeah,
You know, it just goes on and on. It's been hidden. We need to shine a light on it. The you know, the what you say in public versus what you say in private, we need to shine a light on it. Like, okay, who are you? Who are you really? Why should I believe what you have to tell me if, you know, if you're saying something different, kind of behind my back? Like, as human beings, we're not stupid. We know that things are bad. We know things are not going the way that they should. So the idea that, you know, a politician, well, you know, we don't want to get people upset. Well, how upset do you think I'm going to be when you lie to me and I find out 6 months down the road that there isn't enough money to, you know, to keep the lights on, right? Just okay, the economy is bad, but it's not that bad. Don't concentrate on. Yeah, I was the other day they were talking about the economy in the US and how horrible it is and how bad it is, and you know, Joe Biden and what the Democrats have done and whatnot. You know what? The
takes
US,
two
when
to
it comes
tango.
to this inflation thing, the US isn't on top of the list, right? You look at the UK at 10%, and then there's other countries that are at, 10%, close to 11%, and then it goes down and down and down and down, and then you get to the US.
Yeah.
So, things aren't great, but they're not as bad as they could be. So don't concentrate on, the sky is falling. Concentrate on, things are good. But
Oh no,
here's just
I'm seeing it in the stores. You know, they've been pushing for $15 minimum wage, but what are the stores doing now? They're raising all the prices because they don't want to lose that every single dollar. So every dollar that they give you extra in your check, they're going to charge you for So there's no breaking forward. There's no moving forward. It's just that mental state to keep the people in that. Because when people are angry at each other and they're suspicious of each other and they're finger blaming each other and they're fighting amongst themselves, that's when they look, politicians and those with the money are looking down going, okay, we don't have to worry about them. We got them distracted really good. Make them
exactly.
think that this is their fault. Make them think that that's their fault. Let's hype some price. I mean, it's just all a game.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you going to play it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's always been the other. You blame the other for everything, right? The other becomes they. So, you don't have a job because maybe, whatever you're a coal miner. There isn't a big call for coal mining, so you don't have a job. Well, the reason you don't have a job has nothing to do with the fact that, coal manufacturing has gone the way of the dinosaur. It has everything to do with the way with the immigrants that are coming up, because they're the ones that are taking your job. One has nothing to do with the other, but it's so much easier.
People don't want to change. Yeah, it's easier to pit people against each other, different races, different backgrounds. I was going to say something, but I completely squirrel brain. Just want to say really quick, I saw Allison popped in. That's Aries girl. Hi, Allison. And then Angela. I think that's my friend Angela. Oops, don't hit block. Nope. My phone fell down. So I think
Oh,
my friend
okay, no
Angela
problem.
is in the chat too. So,
Oh,
hey,
perfect.
sweetheart. But
Hey, Flo. We'll see you later. Have a good night.
oh, that's what I was going to say. Oh, night flowing. Thank you for haining. And now I
Yes.
just lost it again. Hey,
Yeah, I know.
welcome to
I know.
Heather's World.
Squirrel. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
That's yeah.
But I think too that a lot of it is that people now, because of what happened during COVID. Oh, and I don't know if well, I'm sorry. Some people are okay with saying it. YouTube, that we're just having a discussion. It showed
That's why I got the
people
little banner thing going. Entertainment purposes
is
only.
only it
Yeah.
showed people, it gave people a chance to see that what it's like to not have to break their backs, to work such hard hours. They were being supported by the government to help get through this lockdown, and then they started finding things that they were passionate about, things that they really wanted to
Yes.
do with their life. These are like, you know what, I don't want to settle for this anymore. And there are a lot of places around here that are desperately looking for help, but they're not wanting to give people the right pay for it. They don't want to, um, and it's hard for the mom and pop, small businesses. I get that, but like because of the major retailers really wreak havoc on
Of course.
private mom and pop businesses, and so they're like, no, we don't want to, no health care, no that. Well, then I'm going to work. I would rather stay and get money from and so it's just again, and yes,
Yeah.
Angela is here. Hi, sweetheart. So,
Yay.
but yeah, it's just that constant game of, greed and money, and
Absolutely.
who
And
can we
as
blame this
long as
time?
yeah, as long as everyone concentrates on me instead of we're going to be fighting this. Right? We got
Hmm.
to start thinking globally. We got to start thinking about our communities and the yeah the
Hmm.
things that we do to help others. And I'm really big on that. That if I do everything in my power to help you to succeed, I will succeed myself.
Yeah, it's
So
empowering
and
each other.
yeah,
Yep.
don't do it because you're, keeping tabs and okay, well, I did one for you, now you owe me. No, that's not the right intention. You do it because it comes from your heart. You genuinely want to see the other person succeed. You want to be able to share in their good fortune or whatever is coming their way, in their progress, in their whatnot. It just makes us all better. And I remember hearing, and this was a number of years ago, and it keeps coming back to me that the question was, how do you control um, a large, vast population? And the best way to do it is to keep them sick and keep them uneducated.
Yep.
And I don't know how many times, and I get shivers just when I say it,
Hmm.
because exactly, exactly. People
Especially
that
when you
are
go to
healthy.
the stores, when you see the healthy food,
Yes.
they jack it up 2 to 3 times. But here, all this cheap stuff, what people who are on SNAP benefits for food stamps, like I am, we both have
Mhm,
to be able to, have enough food in
mhm.
the house. We're trying to keep our health up, but but when you try to buy healthy, it's just there's
Yeah,
you have, and we've been really trying to balance, you know, the little extra here for maybe some of the organic stuff or more the healthier
yeah,
stuff, a little bit, and they really do a really good job. Their damn is to keep people, like you said, sick,
yep,
poor, and uneducated, and
yep.
fighting.
And fighting,
Hmm.
blaming the others. So,
Yep.
but now let me just change the focus a little bit.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Oh, Aries Girl says exactly. That is why the standard American diet is designed the way that it is. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's got to be quick, right? You
Fast
grab
food. That's why we
McDonald's.
got
Yeah,
fast food on every corner several times. It's
yeah,
just
making it very quickly, making it very quick. But here's just a couple things that I was able to get off of the internet about Miss Letitia James.
oh,
Yeah. So as I said, yeah, she's a Libra, born October 18th. So she just had a birthday. Uh, she was the first African American and first woman to be elected as a
Attorney General.
yes, sorry, yeah, Attorney General. I got notes all over the place here, and sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. But okay, she is part of the Working Families Party, which some people kind of equated to the Tea Party. But the things that she believes in, and that her focus on healthcare reform, raising the minimum wage, universal paid sick days, student debt, progressive taxation, public education, and energy and environmental reform.
And after we had that mass shooting in Buffalo, she also, when she came to speak, she said that she would be working on and knowing how important is gun reform law
Oh,
is for the state as well. And of course, like every other politician who's for reform, the
yeah,
first thing is that you want to take, or
you
but
want to take,
that's not what they're saying. We have to try to get as many of these
yeah,
AKs and stuff off the streets. And
yes,
she was honest. She goes, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight. Um,
absolutely,
they understand what's against them, especially illegal. On the streets.
yeah,
Between. I mean, it just gets so involved, and not to put down our police force, because there are a lot of good men and women in blue that are out there protecting
yes,
us, but there also are a lot, as we have seen over the past few
yes,
years, um, that are not.
yeah,
And a lot of those get trafficked through too and back on the streets.
yeah,
So it's hard to really fight some of these battles when the people who are supposed to be enforcing them and supporting them are more on the take
yeah,
and want more of that than being able to.
yeah,
So you sometimes wonder, well, what can we do? And then the best thing to do is just do what you can with what you have within
yeah,
your family, within your community, um, and use as many resources for positive means as possible to help your
yeah,
community. A lot of it has to be, we always expect everything to be put onto, the politicians on this and that, but a lot of times we have to start ourselves.
exactly,
Be the difference you want to see in the world,
exactly,
no matter if it's small, because I get it. Some of us, like myself, with mental health and stuff, we there are things that we can't really want to be as outspoken about or do, but even if it's just sitting there and going to videos that support, you know measures, and just typing
yeah,
in to get them, just little things add up.
yeah,
They're like little ripples, and when they all keep getting
absolutely,
together, it makes more and more. And there are people talk about the dark side and the downside of social media. There's, yes, a lot of it, but also on the opposite end, to have the balance, there has been a lot of good too, where you can find information, you can reach out and contact people, you can, it's there's the
yeah,
community you can outreach. So you have the
yeah,
bad, but also you take that good and go. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely, yeah.
the power
It's
is in your
small,
hands.
small steps, small little steps, because if everyone takes a small little step collectively, it
One
it
big
adds
step.
up, right? It adds up to one big step. So, um, yeah, don't think that we're not going to change the world in 24 hours, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you can make a small little difference wherever you can, and it doesn't have to be
And if that's just smiling at somebody that you see on the
Yeah.
street, that can change their day in a split second, because you don't
Absolutely.
know what they're going through. And that one
Exactly.
smile can make them think twice about doing something, or
Yeah.
maybe, bring their mood up, where they'll see somebody and they can
Yeah.
give that smile back, and that might inspire somebody. You just,
Yeah.
like they call these random acts of
That's a
kindness.
kindness. Absolutely. Yeah. I love sometimes when I'm, excuse me, if I'm going through the drive-through to get coffee. Like I know you have coffee drive-throughs, but up here Tim Hortons is
Tim
really,
Hortons, yeah, Starbucks,
yeah,
yeah, Timmy's on every corner.
absolutely. Yeah, that's right. It's a Canadian thing, eh?
Right?
And yeah, I'll get my coffee and I'll say, and whatever the person behind me wanted, I'll pay for their order. And
Somebody did that for us once, you know.
yeah, and usually it's like you make a couple of people's day because the person that is taking the money goes, really? Oh, that's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all of a sudden they're standing a little taller. And the person that's behind me, they enjoy the free thing. It's going to make them feel good because I know I've had it done to me and it's like, oh my gosh, that was so sweet. That was so nice. And really,
And we know
what's it
what it's
cost?
like to go hungry too, him and I. And
Yeah.
there are times when we could just try to see what we can get with $5 for one meal out of one day. And so
Uh-huh.
when we start getting the little bit extra, they would say, "Would you like to donate $1?" Yes. We couldn't do like $5 or $10, but when we had the extra after things started getting better, yes, add on an extra
Mhm.
dollar to our bill, to
Yeah.
be able to help for the local family.
Yeah.
So, um,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Paula Berlinski just said, it sounds like you guys are just making stuff up. It's like watching Oprah. You know what?
What?
I love Oprah. Yeah.
Who said
So
that?
love and blessings to you,
Oh,
Paula.
okay. Well, I don't see it, but
Oh, yeah. It just here, I'll put it up. I think it's worth sharing with everyone. That was just such a sweet thing. Yeah.
you know what? I'm not a big fan of Oprah. I've been learning about a few things about Miss Oprah herself that I might do a video.
Oh.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
not to be mean, but things that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of people that was in that black book of Epstein's that we're
Mm.
never going to know who were in there, that would really surprise, I'm sure, a lot of people. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying I'm not implying that, YouTube, but
Yeah.
I've seen enough videos from different um, channel creators, and I go back, I look, I cross T, dot the I's, cross the T's, cross reference, and I'm like, it's enough. There's enough things I'm seeing about people that, oh, they would never, and yet, like I said, people that hide in the shadows. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
there's a lot. There's a lot. There is a lot. Oh, well. Oh, well. So, listen,
Yes.
we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes.
Oh my goodness. I hope I didn't go off on too many tangents
No,
on you.
no,
I almost
this
said
is
tangents. Sorry,
no, this
Tange.
is perfect because
Girl.
it's like, you just
Yeah.
sometimes it's really nice just to have a chat
Get
about
it off
things
your
and
yes.
yeah, and not have a um yeah, just not have to cover anything or have to do anything. Oh,
Yeah.
my
Oh, you
cellular
got fur
dog.
baby. Oh, you got fur baby.
I
Yeah.
do too.
My other
Yeah,
one's
it's
sleeping. I thought she would be here, but yeah, I had two, dogs, but they're in heaven now. So
mm,
I still have my two black rescues, my Ziva and my Mozzie. My Mozzie's the one that likes to, pop on and show
get on
himself and say
camera.
hi to everybody.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is Clarity. She's a husky, and I'm supposed to say she's my son's dog, and she is my son's dog because Yeah, she loves him and she tolerates me,
Angela.
you know? But yeah, she's just absolutely, absolutely lovely. And yeah, and we also have two cats as well. So we're big on
Yeah.
animals
See,
here.
I never growing up, I had to take care of my niece and nephew. Well, speaking of the other one, now here she is. She must have
Uh,
gotten jealous. Yes,
uh-huh.
everyone who doesn't see her very often, this is my Ziva.
Oh,
This
hello,
is my mama.
Siva.
She's
Look at
14 years
those
old.
eyes. Look at
Yeah,
those eyes.
yeah, yeah. She's my
Lovely.
mama's. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was saying something, and then she came over, but yeah, I can't
I'm
remember.
just
Moving
coming
on.
in. Love you. Love you. Love and light. It's all good in the world. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I tend to sometimes I'm not sure that I trust people who don't like animals.
Hmm.
It's like or yeah, if my animals don't like you, chances are I'm not going to like you
Yeah.
either. you know?
Oh, that's what I was saying. Because I had to raise my niece and nephew at such a young age.
Yes.
It showed me that I wasn't capable of really being able to have a family. I knew it was something that immediately I knew that I would not be able to handle, especially already at a young age and what was going on in the family and stuff. As I got older, I realized that that was not the path for me.
Yeah.
Especially then when I got into art in high school and I wanted to go to college. I didn't want anything to interfere with that. And I
Yeah.
always loved animals. I always connected with animals since a child, with nature,
Night, Sherry.
with all
Yeah.
of that. So that's where my path and my kids are my fur babies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but yeah, my son says the same thing. Um, he's 40, and God love him. He allows me to live with him, which I appreciate very much. But yeah, I've given up on ever having grandkids because he said, "Look, I'm barely responsible enough to look after the cats and dog. Like, yeah,
yeah,
can't do
and
it."
and children need to have the utmost, care, and that's why
Absolutely.
I'm so
Yeah.
disheartened with seeing. I mean, don't even get me into Roe versus Wade right now. But
Mm,
just so many, especially where I live, young women don't know any different. It's children seeing
yeah.
children having kids and just following
Yeah.
that same, that's why I'm saying keep people poor, keep people
Yeah.
downtrodden, make them feel like there's nothing else outside of their environment, their neighborhood, their community. And it's heartbreaking to see children having children and then them not being able to understand or
Yeah.
handle that. And then those children get abused and then they get abused. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle. And not doing, the old big old, look at me, patting myself on my back. But I was the only woman in my immediate family that said no to domestic violence.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to have any of that. I told, every boyfriend that I had, which wasn't a lot, but said, the first time you put a hand on me is going to be the last time you put a hand on me.
Yeah.
I would not take no abuse with language
Yeah.
or anything because I
Yeah.
saw what that did to members in my family. And I said, I have got to at least break the cycle on my end and in my immediate family, and not putting my sister down or any of my family, but I'm the one that went to college and stuff. And my grandnieces and nephews, they're not wanting to follow that either, but yet I still hold out that as they get older, they see that the opportunities, that are out there. And last year, I became a great great aunt,
Oh, nice.
and it's the best thing ever to be an aunt because you visit,
I
they
know.
come and visit you, and then they go, and it's like, okay, just chill, relax.
Yeah.
Got the fur babies, you know, but yeah, all Sagittarians in my family. My great grandmother was
Really?
the 4th. My great grandma McConnell was December 4th. When my mom got pregnant with my sister, she's like, and she was due in December, she's like, oh, you better have that baby on my birthday. My sister came on the 5th. 15 years later, I came on the 6th.
Uh-huh.
And then my grandniece Tiana, she came on the 9th when she was born. And then last year, her first child was the day after her birthday. So
Oh,
like five generations in 1 week,
wow.
in a 2 week period of
Wow.
badges.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but
Totally. Yeah,
it's
mine are,
incredible, you know. 4th, 5th, and 6th, you know.
yeah,
Poor great grandma couldn't get one of those babies on her day.
yeah. No, I've got four nieces, and yeah, they're all over February,
Yeah.
April, June, and November. So they're kind of all
Hmm.
over. But yeah,
Yeah.
love to
It
get
made
together
it
with
hard
them.
to have birthday parties growing up because being in Buffalo, by
Mm.
the time December, 6th came
Uh-huh.
around, you never know if there was going to be a storm, that weekend or the day of your birthday party. But,
Yeah,
still, it's cool to have. I share the same
yeah.
birthday as Santa Claus with St. Nick. So I think I made
Uh-huh.
out pretty good. Yeah.
And not bad, not bad,
No.
not bad. Yeah, it was kind of cool here today. I'm in Calgary,
Yeah.
and of course, like Calgary, the weather here changes, 5, 6 times a day. You
Same
never know
here. Since the
you're
weather
in. Yeah,
channels began
yeah,
shifting, you never know from day to day, hour to hour. We actually had beautiful weather today. We're supposed to have 70 this coming weekend.
oh,
So,
wow.
hmm
And
and fall's
yeah,
my favorite time of year with all the colors. I imagine Canada must be gorgeous, especially in your area
there
with the
there
fall.
are some areas. I lived in Nova Scotia for 10 years, and out there they
Mhm.
have defined seasons in Nova Scotia, and it was beautiful. Here
Mhm.
Calgary can be, sometimes we can have seasons. Other days, a season lasts a day. Like we can go from having
Yep.
it, it's 32 degrees outside, you can't breathe how hot it is. The next day it drops down to 20, and the day after that it snows. Like it can go that
Hmm.
fast,
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it's only
today,
going to change more now with the changing patterns.
absolutely.
But global warming
Yeah.
doesn't exist. That's what another young lady I'm really proud of. And you don't hear too much of her, at least I don't watch as much news, but that
Night airs.
Greta,
Oh
um,
yes.
I keep forgetting what her last name is. Greta, um,
Thurnburn or
Thunberg. Thank you.
Thunberg. Yeah.
Now she is, I mean, that these younger kids that are coming, you know, onto being, I can't think of the word, but coming to, being
They're
on planet
they're
Earth
very enlightened.
are some
Yeah.
of the things that you hear. Some of the ones aren't so nice because the parents aren't really, but there are some that have these the words that come out of these children's mouths, the intelligence. You look in their eyes and you see that. And with her, that passion, yeah, she
Very
gives
much.
me hope. Children like, young people like her give me hope. Most definitely.
Absolutely. 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 So,
Jerry
all
said
right.
we have two seasons down there, hot and wet.
Yeah. In Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Oh, thank you guys so much for being here and allowing us to sit and chat and discuss things and whatnot. Hopefully, we have enlightened some minds and maybe shared some information that is of value to you. And we'll have to do this again, Heather. And maybe next
I'm gonna
time
have
we
to
could
have my
actually
channel
talk about
once I get
quotes.
my internet. But I got my hotspot going, so thank you.
Good.
you know, universe
Yes.
for allowing this to go,
Yes.
you know,
Absolutely.
without a
That,
hitch.
yeah, that was wonderful. And
Do you
yeah,
pull now? Do you pull like cards at the end of your lives for the collective, or I don't know how you usually end your?
you know what? It it depends on what I'm doing, but yeah,
Okay,
sometimes I forget, but I do like
cool.
to generally, and especially if I'm doing a reading, I will try to pull a couple cards before the reading, just to kind of gauge what direction spirit wants to go in. But and then yeah, have a card for at the end. So absolutely, let's do that.
Awesome.
I'm using the Return of Spirit, Cheryl
And
Lee Harnish deck.
I'm going
And
to be using. I just got these in today. Kristen
excellent,
Louise's Star Rune Oracle. So
excellent,
just
excellent.
yeah, they're like, take me, take me. I'm like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. There's some amazing. Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house the AC was running because we live in the south. She cracks.
Very good.
I love Sherry. I really
Yeah,
do. She's
yeah.
gun ho for anything and everything.
Okay. What shall we leave everyone with? Uh,
Oh wow, this is one of my favorite cards. I mean, I have so many from here, um,
mm-hmm.
but
Go ahead.
I got Laguz. I got the Cosmic Web, and
Nice.
I love it. It's part of the ancestors. And at first I was like the Cosmic Web, and then it just struck me the beauty of her face. That's the web right
That's
there of all the generations, everything that she has seen, has experienced,
yeah,
has gone through, in which she, shares, you know, with
yeah.
people that, that are in her community, in her tribe. Um, that
Yeah, especially look
continuing
at all the
of
people above her.
the
Yeah,
ancestors. And I just absolutely love this
yeah,
card. So just remembering that we are all a part of the cosmic web. Like we were saying earlier, every little small thing that we do, whether it's just holding the door for somebody with a smile
yeah,
or just saying hi or whatever, that could just absolutely ripple out, you know, like that
absolutely.
web. It'll just send all the little tingles and it'll alert and it comes back. It keeps that beautiful positive energy flowing through the universe and within everybody in your community. So, yeah, that's my card for everybody. That's awesome.
Excellent. Excellent. And I generally pulled three, and it was funny because I got immunity, union, and faith. And I
Mm,
thought, you know
I like
what? It yeah, that it really speaks to me. Yeah, put a barrier between yourself and things out there that are negative, that don't serve you and that
that.
don't serve others. Keep yourself protected from that, and just remember that yeah, we are union, we are one. Um, we come from the one, we are the one, and have faith that you are in exactly the right place, doing exactly the right
Right
thing
thing.
for exactly the right reasons. And
Hmm.
just have faith that the universe is there. If you fall, it's going to catch you, it's
Hmm.
going to put you on the right track. It's not designed and it's not meant to harm you in any way. So
Yeah.
thank goodness. Thank
And,
goodness. Yeah.
and we have those days where we can't always sustain that spiritual positivity and everything is great and just keep it. We got to remember that there is that balance, and when those hard moments come in,
Yes.
not to get down on ourselves about them because we're human. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here,
Yeah.
learning these lessons and just being able to sit in those emotions and those circumstances and just saying, okay, what are the lessons? What can I learn from this? And just let it go and give back,
Yeah,
to the universe.
exactly. Just be grateful. Be grateful. Be nice. Be nice. And yeah,
Oh, I love you too,
let
Sherry.
people.
She's like she doesn't know it, but when I talk to she's like my mama. I actually had a dream where my mom came to me because my mom was always very possessed. Was just always kind of like whenever I would show anybody, any attention, or affection, um, other than her, she would kind of
Mm,
get like, well, who's this person? I had a teacher that she was like that with, and I
yeah,
had a dream one night where she was looking at me going, who's that? Who's this?
yeah,
So yeah, so yeah,
yeah. That's Sherry.
Miss that's Miss Sherry.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like the
Exactly.
she's like the big mama.
Perfect.
And I love those cards. Heather uses those from the Crone Zone. So one of these
Mhm,
days, that's another deck I need to get. I love the colors and the energy on them. Those are
mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah, there. She has actually the Shirley Harnish. She has got three. Whoops,
Oh,
get around. Yeah, she has
return.
got three. There's Return of Spirit. I think Spirit Guidance and another one. Anyway, and all of them are kind of basically the same.
Hmm.
And I do use all of them, but the Return of Spirit is my favorite. That's the one that I just kind of
Just
go.
combine them all together, kind of like the deck of character, and just
Oh, oh, yeah, exactly. At that delation, I'm gonna have to buy one of
111
those
cards.
Vegas machines that do the sorting, right? Put the three decks in,
Yeah,
sort
that's
it
the one
all
thing I
out.
can't do. I've never been able to ruffle the cards. My brother tried teaching me as a kid. I could never do it. So I'm just, old fashioned hand
Yeah,
shuffle.
and
So,
as long as it works, we're fine.
yeah.
We're fine. Okay, all right. Well, we will definitely do this again. Thank you
Oh,
so
yeah.
much for joining me
Thank you for
and being
having
on.
me. I had a blast. And if it
Good.
wasn't for Scott, I wouldn't have met you because
There you
Scott
go.
has been introducing me to a lot of new people. And like there's the ripple effect again. Here, meet this person. And when I meet this person,
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, who's these readers? And it just, the community keeps growing and
Yeah,
growing. And I absolutely love that. There's plenty of room for everybody. There really
exactly.
is.
Yeah, and I really really enjoy Scott. Anytime that I've
Hmm.
done anything, yeah, I really enjoy working
He's going
with
to be a
him.
granddaddy soon. So, yeah.
Yes, yes, he is. And I think one of the first chats that we had, I told him the as he was telling me, yeah, he's the that yeah, his daughter was pregnant, and I said, "Oh, and the baby is going to be born on," and I think I said November 5th. Don't quote me, but I think I said November. And
Mhm.
he went, "What? That's a day that I said." Well, okay,
Oh,
then
because him and
right.
I were going to do a live last night, and he said to me over the weekend, "I don't know. I'm feeling maybe that baby might be coming Wednesday or Thursday." I'm like, "Well, keep me in the loop." And he's been quiet all week, so you never know.
Oh well,
You just
could
never
be.
know. Because when they're ready to come out, they're gonna, yep,
Yeah, when they're ready, they're ready.
my decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right.
Alrighty.
We got to go. We will
Yep.
be in touch. Thank you, everyone, for
Yes. Thank you,
being here.
everybody.
And yeah, we will do this again real soon. So just
Yes.
look out for the notice.
Okay.
Okay. Take
All
care.
right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Mwah.